Here, choosing your guitar pick for beginners can be kind of a difficult task. We got a lot of options, right? I'm gonna be going over the different picks I use, different gauges, different textures, different brands, why I use them, different styles of music that we might use them on. And I'm gonna show you on my acoustic guitar because you can really hear the difference, because the type of pick you use has three different variables. It affects the tone of the music that you're playing, the volume, and I guess that third variable would be if it has a grip or not, and that's kind of a preference thing. I'll go over that. So the first pick I'm gonna go over is this really thin, this is a Fender, I believe, pick, and you can see it's a really thin gauge. And what I use these for, I really recommend these for beginners. So if you're learning your notes on the neck, and if you're learning chords, this is a great pick to use as a beginner, because beginners tend to squeeze the pick when they're learning. And so this pick will help you keep a nice light sound. And they're easy to use. Now let's go over the bad things about a thin pick. The bad thing about a thin pick is they don't have as rich of a tone as a thick pick. So I'm gonna play a couple of chords like this. That was the thin pick. I'm gonna just go ahead and switch to like the thickest gauge real quick. Now, some of you might not be able to tell the difference, but if you got a good ear, you can hear a much richer tone with that thick pick than this thin pick. The thin pick has a brighter tone, and it's also softer. With the same amount of force in your strumming, it's gonna have a softer tone and a brighter tone. So they're not as good for rock, basically. So listen, if I'm gonna do like power chords, for example. It's a Green Day riff with the light pick, thin pick, I mean, and we'll go to the thick one. Right, much deeper tone, much richer tone. And I can really, with the palm muting, I can really force that with that thick pick, but with the thin pick, it's just not quite there as far as force and richness. So there's pros and cons to that. Another kind of con about a thin pick is because they're so wobbly, because they're so flimsy, if you're doing something kind of technical, they can feel kind of like they're going like this while you're playing, and it can be a little frustrating. So if you're doing something technical, you want to definitely have a really thick gauge pick. And that really gives you more accuracy, at least it feels like that. So that's the thin Fender pick. This is a thin Jim Dunlop pick. Trying to get it to focus there. There's, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but there's a rough kind of texture on there. Kind of hard to see. But that helps you, like if your fingers get sweaty, you're playing on stage or whatever. That grip does help, you know, with the pick flying out of your hand, you know, your sweat, greasy, you know, going everywhere. So a lot of people like the texture because of that. And really, I don't have a preference. I like both, but the ones with texture do kind of help you with your grip. Here's kind of a medium light pick, kind of getting in the medium range here. Still got some flexibility, but it has a little bit more substance to it. And I use medium picks the most. So here are the two picks that I use the most. Here's a Jim Dunlop medium. Purple's one of my favorite colors, so I got purple. But I like medium picks because they're versatile. They got the good things of the light picks and the good things of the thick picks. And kind of erases the cons of both, because they're not too flimsy when you're doing your lead, and they're got enough substance to where, you know, they got some good tone. If you're, you know, doing more lead stuff and then switch to like the full chords, it just has a good overall sound. So that's why I prefer medium picks. These Jim Dunlops, the kind of like plasticky texture does tend to wear out over time. So I guess you could say that's a con of this pick. These plastic ones are, I guess, like acrylic type material. They do wear out, especially if you're an aggressive player. Here's another one I use a lot, just a Fender medium pick. This one's just right in the middle as far as gauge. I'm not sure what the actual gauge is, but it's right in the middle. And I love these picks because this Fender label here has a little bit of texture to it, but not too much. So I guess I do prefer like a lightly textured pick that's got a little bit of texture, but still smooth. I love these picks. I highly recommend them. Here's kind of a cool promotional Jack Daniels pick. This obviously was made by Jack Daniels, so it's not a name brand for picks, you know, and this is a little bit of a thicker. I would say this like medium thick. So this pick's gonna have a really good tone. Full tone, right? Any style. Palm muting. Anytime you're doing like palm muting, like something like this, like Stacy's Mom or something, you want to have a thicker pick. You know, even if you're a beginner, if you're gonna do more like punk rock, power chord type stuff, you want to have a thicker pick to have that aggressive power and the lower, richer tone. You don't want a bright, twangy tone if you're doing rock, right? Here's a Dunlop thick pick. This is really thick gauge, lots of grip. I would only use this pick if I knew I was doing lots of lead stuff. You know, if I was doing like some jazz, you know, if I needed to be really accurate and have a really rich, nice tone, I'm gonna be using a thicker pick, especially if I know I'm not playing rhythm guitar. If I know I'm playing lead, and if I know I'm gonna be up here a lot in the danger zone, I'm gonna use a thick pick with lots of grip. That's just what you need. Here's a Fender thick pick, thick gauge. You can see that grip has collected some hand grease over time. Once again, just nice, rich, thick tone. With this thick pick, I'm gonna play some chords kind of in the middle of the neck here. Let's do this. That's the thick pick. I'm gonna go real quick back to the thin just so you can compare. This is all the way down to the thin. You can see there's just no aggression there. I'm playing it exactly the same, but here's the thick pick. Just way more aggression, right? Now I'm using the same power and the same, you know, everything. It's just the thickness of the pick that you're hearing that slight difference in tone. So here's the last one I'm gonna go over. This is a Dunlop Tortex. I really recommend these picks. These are great picks. They seem to last forever is what I've noticed. So definitely the pro for these is they're just durable. They last a long time. They don't get worn off as easy. I haven't used this one as much. It's really thick, but I would use it if I was you know, doing some of my jazz stuff. If I wanted to get a really nice, good, you know, tone, or if I needed to be real accurate, you know, nice, rich tone, deep tone with the thick picks. Now, you know, before all the rockers and stuff tear me up in the comments, I know there's a lot of thicker picks out there. I know there's a lot of different types. These are just the types that I use. You know, I'm more of a jazz, pop, you know, kind of dabble in punk every now and then. So these are the picks that I use for the styles of music that I use. You know, I play a lot of like reggae, you know, so I'll use like these like medium and thick picks a lot. I don't really use thin picks a lot. I might use a thin pick if I am singing and I need my guitar to be softer than my voice. That'd be like the only instance. I'm usually a medium pick guy. This Fender medium is my go-to. Dunlop, that's my go-to. And then every now and then I recommend the Tortex for the more rich, accurate, aggressive playing. I recommend this. There's a lot of thicker gauges out there that offer even more tones. And before you finger guys, light me up in the comments. You know, picks are great. Picks are okay for the beginners. They offer a great tone, they offer accuracy, and for people like me that bite their nails, it's a necessity. So picks are great. Don't hate on picks. These are the different ones I use and why. It depends on where you're at musically. It depends on what style of music you're playing, and it depends on the tone and just personal preference as well, as far as texture and tonality and things like that. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be giving away more guitar knowledge, more guitar secrets. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later.